Okay, so like any other system, you would expect a degree of searching, so we provide that. Obviously, we haven't got many appointments here registered in the system, but we can obviously filter based on part or first name or surname. It's not a problem. We can then at Washington we have a process whereby whenever a client books an appointment, we send them a pack, and this list basically builds up those pack lists, and then at the end of the day, the reception team will send the packs and basically update the status of each of these as sent or otherwise. In terms of the reporting, we can talk a bit more about that in detail, I guess, at the next web presentation. But it basically gives you an idea of where the advisor is in terms of the week targets, and if there's any, perhaps we're down by 2 or 3 or whatever, we can see that, okay, well, there was 3 holidays or a number of cancellations or reschedules, and this then feeds into almost a reporting system that can be used at the end of the month, perhaps, just to make sure that the organisation's in the right direction to meet the funding targets. Again, like we discussed before, we take information regarding clients' flexibility for last-minute appointments. So if we had, for example, clients who were 4 weeks in advance, we had a cancellation tomorrow, we could try and bring some of those clients forward, and that's very, very easy with the system. We literally just select a client from the flexibility list, reschedule to a different or perhaps even the same advisor, and then submit that. The system will then look at the available appointments for that advisor. We can then click on the advisor in question, and literally it will transfer that whole booking to that new advisor, or basically to the same advisor but just for an earlier day, and we can just go ahead and confirm that. So that's the overall system. In terms of the things you'd expect to have in an appointment system, things like cancellations is very easy, rescheduling is very easy. If, for example, we had Bob and we can just click reschedule, we can then reschedule for a particular advisor, or we can reschedule for a different department, or we can just change the advisor. So we're literally here, we'll literally change it to a different time. Here we're just changing the advisor registered or recorded for that appointment. I mean, this is the overall view screen for the appointment. We can see the appointment status, history, maybe when it's been rescheduled, when it's been added. And we can also send the client, providing they've given us the mobile number, ad hoc text messages. So we can just say, if it's perhaps a client that's forgotten a number of appointments, we can just maybe send, please don't forget appointment tomorrow. But again, the system by default automatically sends text messages the day before a client's appointment, and that's something that we can set up as well with our SMS gateway once we've begun the initial trial. So that's a very brief overview, but it just gives you an idea how the system looks with your data in there. The next phase really is we could provide logins now, but we always think that the system is very simple, but it just requires just a small amount of time just to familiarize yourself, particularly when calls come through on the phone, and the person new to the system will be thinking, well, how, where do we go? So I think the next stage is really to get a couple of the advisors or the admin team, I think we discussed earlier, just to the bureau to maybe just sit with your system and maybe take some of the calls for appointments for Fiscus, live appointments. And it would just be, I think it would be beneficial to have our reception staff, who are very experienced in the diary, just there on hand if any problems come up. So that's the next step. This video will be kind of accessible whenever you need it, but we are looking to do slightly more specific small video tutorials just to kind of illustrate various areas of the system. And we go from there, and we will, I'm sure we will catch up with you very soon.